Hello and welcome. Today is the latest of our series of interviews. We're chatting today with Nicola Carey-Shine. Now, Nicola's an artist and school teacher and is dedicated to helping children with additional needs to shine. Nicola has won many awards for her Learn to Shine school, and we're delighted that she can join us today to tell us more. Welcome, Nicola.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Tell us a bit more about you and what makes up Nicola Carey-Shine's day. What do you do every day?
Is that with or without my own little ones?
Well, yeah.
And knocked down. Well, originally I was a secondary school teacher. I did that for a really long time, and I was asked to support children who were at risk of permanent exclusion or who were vulnerable for a variety of reasons. And they were children that hadn't quite made the cut to go to a specialised school, but they were also really clearly not going to be able to cope in a mainstream school. And I had the amount of times people would say to me, "You must be mad. Why would you want to do that? That must be so stressful." And I'd always say to them, actually, the kids don't stress me out. The structure that we're stuck in stresses me out. I actually love the kids, that because I feel we've got a rapport, we get on, it's not a problem. I enjoy my time with them, but the system we're in is not fit for purpose. So when my son was born, I think a lot of parents will attest to that I just had a real epiphany, and I thought, I can't go back to the system that I don't agree with people going around with clipboards and ticking boxes, because children aren't products that can be ticked off and fitting into a mold that was what they wanted. And they weren't seeing the child holistically. So I took a really big leap, and I just thought, right, I'm going to set up on my own. I'm going to do it right. I'm going to do it my way. And yet it grew really, really quickly. And it just shows there is a massive need for what I'm doing at the moment. So on any day, I might be teaching in the morning. I might be advocating for parents, trying to get them educational healthcare plans in the afternoon, delivering art groups, having one-to-one with parents on behaviour management and emotional challenges. So it's grown hugely within 3 years. It's a sort of a holistic support system for parents.
Yeah. I'm sure you know that Health Watch is all about giving people a voice. The kids and the families that you've been supporting during lockdown, but this latest lockdown in particular. Tell us a bit about how you've heard how they've been coping with the experiences of the last few months.
I think, generally speaking, as everybody, I'm sure everybody would say the same, but it's been a really trying time, and I don't think I've ever been as busy as right now. There's been, there's constant phone calls and emails coming my way because people are really struggling. Families in particular, in one way, it has been a bit of a blessing in that parents were maybe unsure if there was an issue with their child's behaviour or learning style, have really seen firsthand when they're trying to conduct a lesson over Teams or a Zoom presentation, and they've seen, actually, my child isn't being naughty. They just really can't process the pace that you're at or what's going on, and they've actually, it's given them the confidence to see that there is actually an issue where they've been fobbed off by the staff. So actually, in a way, that's been a positive thing. And some children have preferred not having the sensory overwhelm of being in a busy school, and they've liked being on the computer, but generally speaking, it's had a negative impact. There's been a lot of meltdowns, a lot of children really struggling with their confidence, and not seeing friends has really impacted on them as well. So there's that structure is completely out the window at the moment. Right. So yeah, I'd say overall it's been a very strange, unsettling experience.
Are there any particular themes we could talk about a bit more in detail here? I mean, obviously, it would be great to give a platform to share some of the issues that you've found. I know you mentioned there about, children are mentioned as being naughty when actually they're not. They're just not able to process what's being done for them. How have you found that? Are there other issues alongside that?
Yeah, I think one of the big things that's talked about a lot at the moment is mental health. And the provisions for mental health, it's talked about a lot, and it's on social media a lot, and people are having open discussions now like they weren't before. But when you actually go to try and access some form of mental health support, particularly things like CAMHS or other agencies, there's such a waiting list that isn't actually going to do any good right now, and you may not even get seen. It's, are you severe enough to need help? All these questions shouldn't be barriers. It shouldn't be like that. From a wider sense, I would say that it needs to go right back to the very beginning, and there's a teacher retention crisis. There's loads of teachers leaving, so they're rushing people through who are maybe not the right kind of candidate to deal with children with SEN, people that are being made heads of department or Senkos that don't really know quite how to deal with difficult circumstances. So there needs to be training, I think, on a much wider level from the very beginning. And then once it's established that there is an issue or a need for an external service, why isn't that available?
And that's something you're passionate about, sort of campaigning to happen.
Absolutely. It shouldn't be, there shouldn't be a barrier. You know, if I broke my leg, I would go to hospital and be treated for my broken leg, and I would be able to access other things in a different way. But if somebody is having issues psychologically or in a learning style, then why should anybody stop their journey short?
Yeah.
Nobody's got the right to do that.
This isn't the only thing you've been complaining about recently. Tell us more about your latest big idea, your big plan.
So very recently we've actually found land and a place that will really let us expand. So at the moment I offer life skills and courses for children, but where we want to go to is on a huge new level. So it's going to allow us to do things like bushcrafting, archery, outdoor sessions, taekwondo, things, acting master classes, lots of very physical, you know, things that are going to allow children to really let all those emotions go and really enjoy learning, rather than being stuck on a chair in a classroom that's not right for them. Yeah. So yeah, we're doing a lot of fundraising at the moment to get that plan, that dream off the ground, because there's such a huge need, especially in Medway. There is just such a huge need for another pathway.
What would your message be to parents then who might be watching this or listening to it, you know, as it's playing out? What would your message be to parents about what's going on at the moment?
I'd say, first of all, stop doubting yourself. I think we have a parent instinct, and we're nearly always right about that instinct. And it's very difficult when you're trying to advocate for your child's needs when somebody in authority is telling you there's no problem, that, you know, they'll settle down, or there's no, you know, it's the white coat syndrome. It's hard to assert yourself when you're being told that there's no issue or there's nothing available. So I'd say, believe, if your gut feeling is there's an issue and you need help, fight and fight and fight and fight and fight. Obviously not with fists, but, you know, do it. Don't give up, because your voice inside is right.
So to counter that, is there anything you'd like to say to the people who make the decisions as well, who might be, again, listening or watching?
I would say, you know, be open to these experiences that the parents are telling you. If they're explaining something, you know, be open-minded, because training is always being updated. Conditions are we're always finding out more. And I hear a lot of the time things like, oh, your child doesn't have autism because they made eye contact with me, or, you know, a lot of young girls with autism or ADHD are very good at masking. So professionals might not see something or disagree. So be open-minded, accept that things change, that descriptors change, and that parent is experiencing something real.
Nicola, thank you so much for joining us today. We at Health Watch recently celebrated World Autism Day, 2nd of April it was. And I know that we've worked continuously over the years to give people with autism a voice and to help improve services for children with autism. So it's been great to chat to you in more detail about it. If anyone watching this has got a story they want to tell us about the services for children with additional needs, then please do get in touch. We'll put the details up at the end of how you can get in contact with us. We'd love to hear your story, because obviously then we can use that to help improve the service for you and for other people as well. But Nicola, again, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.